Most movies I speak about in this rubric are the ones that I would recommend. Well, actually, I vowed to myself that this one will only be about the films I recommend that are good in production, that are good production-wise, story-wise, that are visually, aesthetically good, and that are, at the same time, disturbing. This one I almost don't want to recommend it, but I must. Because Daniel Groh, I hope I pronounced it right, usually makes good films about bad things.
On pense avoir trouvé l'assassin de votre fille.
Assassin?
Welcome to Check That Book, a special place on YouTube where you and I get acquainted with the most disturbing content ever made. Arguably, of course. And today we are taking a look at 7 Days. 7 Days is a Canadian-French disturbing movie that is... it's one of those that kind of belong in the... on the same shelf, I would say, with the I Spit on Your Grave franchise, right? The Last House on the Left, The Virgin Spring. It's rape and revenge, you guys. But why is this one so good? It's good in creating this mood, this eerie and cold vibe. Even the scenes in nature, wow, it's all so cold. This one is not cold like a snowy mountain pass. No, this one is cold like an empty surgical room. 7 Days follows Bruno, a surgeon whose young daughter is brutally assaulted and murdered. When the police arrest the culprit, Bruno becomes convinced that the justice system will not deliver punishment severe enough. He abducts the subject, brings him to an isolated cabin, and announces that shit will hit the fan. He will torture the culprit for exactly 7 days before killing him. This one is timed to coincide with his daughter's birthday. That's why it's 7 days, hence the title. As Bruno carries out his plan, the police pursue him and his mental state deteriorates. The film explores the psychological effects of grief, revenge, and moral erosion. Throughout, the narrative raises the question of whether vengeance offers closure or simply perpetuates suffering. The story culminates in a bleak realization that revenge has cost Bruno far more than imagined, with no true relief from his grief. And that is just it. I basically recapped the entire movie for you. But why is it here, and why did I want to introduce you to it, and why did I want to talk about this? Well, because this methodical plan of Bruno's to, avenge his daughter, like I mentioned, it doesn't offer any peace, but it's done so well, like I said, cold, surgical, procedural, that is easier to watch. You are, of course, you're sorry for the protagonist, you're sorry for the girl, but whilst you're witnessing him perform all of this and carry out his plan, it kind of allows you and gives you time to reflect on, first and foremost, what would you do in this kind of situation, and is vengeance even justified in this case? I mean, of course it is, but he was in the hands of the law already. Why would he do what he did? Here's an interesting moment. Because of the distrust in the system. My favorite. The story repeatedly challenges the viewer's confidence in Bruno's belief that he is justified. The possibility of human error in such irreversible vengeance hangs over the entire narrative, deepening its tension and dread. What if the police caught the wrong guy? And what if he is now torturing an innocent person? But perhaps the darkest aspect of this particular film is the realization that, well, no amount of revenge can undo loss. It won't bring his little girl back. Half the time, vengeance can make you feel better, of course. It is shown very well in I Spit on Your Grave franchise, for example. Not in all of the films, sure. But again, you feel good, sure. But ultimately, will it undo the harm that's been done to you? Not really, no. Maybe mentally to some degree, but we can't really... My point here, why am I speaking about this again? We can't really be the judges of that for one simple reason only, because we haven't been, thankfully, in such a situation. And if we have, some of us have, I mean, I can invite you to the comments section, but if it's personal, then no pressure. Just saying, we're not here to judge or try to judge. We're here to ultimately get acquainted with a well-produced, disturbing little movie, which 7 Days clearly is. Bruno's actions affect his wife, the police, and even the community to a degree, adding layers of collateral emotional damage, another source of unease. Surprise, surprise, I haven't even realized it up until I sat down to finally montage this video together. 7 Days is actually adapted from a novel. The 2002 novel Les 7 Jours du Talion. My French is horrible, much like every other language I do not speak, so please forgive me. But 7 Days, a novel. Patrick Senecal. I have a hunch that I've been mentioning this one quite a few times on my channel, but not because of the 7 Days. Maybe my memory fails me, but not 7 Days. I've known about this movie for a long time, but I've never realized it was based on a book. So something new to me, something new to you. Now I feel like I need to read it. Senecal's novel already had a strong reputation in Quebec, apparently, making it a candidate for a film adaptation, which it ultimately got. Now, realizing all of this and gathering this source of information, it really makes my hands itch for this book. I'm not sure whether one day I'll do a book versus movie about 7 Days, but feel free. Feel free to comment down below which one did you like best, how different is the source material from the movie. Feel free, I'm always interested. The film was directed by Daniel Gros, known in Quebec for his gritty, realistic style, and later for high-intensity television work. The film was produced on a modest Canadian budget, typical for local psychological thrillers of the time. After completion, 7 Days premiered on the festival circuit, gaining attention for its dark psychological intensity. This one reminds us, yet again I keep repeating this because I believe it's important, not just on the grand scale of vengeance and the subject of vengeance, but ultimately it can even make you feel worse. So if you're planning on avenging someone or yourself, make sure it's worth it. I am not promoting violence here, nor am I encouraging anyone to undertake anything, any actions, any gruesome actions against anybody for that matter. As much as I myself distrust the system, like I mentioned, it's my favorite subject matter, that the system sucks, and it does. As much as you do distrust it, you also should have the proper knowledge and enough sense, common sense, to realize that if you take matters into your own hands, you might end up in a very, very bad situation yourself. Whether we'll get a confession out of our perpetrator or not, Find out for yourself if you dare and watch this film. Daniel Gros has a handful of truly good movies. So when you look up his filmography, so to speak, you will find a handful of good titles there. So check this director out. I highly recommend if you're into dark cinema, and not in a fun gothic way, but dark as in truly dark, depressing and disturbing. And I thank you all so much for watching. If you like disturbing content and just unorthodox content, consider giving this video a boost in the form of an erect thumb, and make sure to subscribe for more. Meanwhile, please take good care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I shall see you all as soon as possible. Goodbye.